Iran's Air Force is currently in poor shape to defend the country, and no new classes of combat jet have been acquired since the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991. The Iranian fleet is today comprised overwhelmingly of Vietnam War-era F-4D and F-5E American fighters, with 2 Soviet MiG-29A squadrons, a single Chinese J-7 squadron, and a number of former Iraqi jets acquired during the Gulf War such as the Mirage F1 and Su-22 being the only notable exceptions. Iran also deploys early 4th-generation F-14A heavyweight air superiority fighters in 2 squadrons, which have been heavily modernized domestically and today represent the only aircraft equipped with modern munitions for air-to-air combat. Iran's at seek to modernize its fleet and provides a wider range of options. An assessment of the 5 leading classes of fighter Iran is expected to show an interest in, based on their capabilities and the Iranian Air Force's requirements. First, MiG-35. Possibly the ideal fighter for Iran, the Russian MiG-35 4++ generation medium-weight fighter will introduce many next-generation technologies to the Iranian fleet, from powerful ESA radars and state-of-the-art electronic warfare systems to 3-dimensional thrust vectoring engines and new R-37M hypersonic air-to-air missiles. The fighter is loosely based on the MiG-29 design and can use much of the same maintenance infrastructure, which will reduce the logistical burden on Iran's already overly diverse fleet. The MiG-35 is approximately 80% less costly to operate than the MiG-29, meaning Iran may in the long run reduce costs by phasing out existing MiG-29 squadrons for replacement with the MiG-35, alongside further acquisitions to form new squadrons. Second, Su-30SM. Iranian interest in the Su-30, a heavyweight twin-seat fighter derived from the Soviet Su-27 air superiority platform, has long been rumored. An Iranian Defense Ministry source stated over 5 years ago regarding the Iranian acquisition of the Su-30, around the time of the visit by Defense Minister Hussein Degan to Russia, Minister Degan will also discuss the delivery of Su-30 airplanes because the Defense Ministry believes the Iranian Air Force needs this type of plane. The Su-30SM is the latest and most capable variant of the Su-30 to enter service and benefits from 2-dimensional thrust vectoring engines, a heavyweight high-performance airframe and the ability to carry a heavy payload and large radar. The fighter is still less sophisticated than 4++ generation Russian designs such as the Su-35 and MiG-35, but has a much higher operational cost than the latter. The fighter could be ideal to project power across the Middle East. Third, JF-17. The Sino-Pakistani JF-17 Block II still represents a significant improvement over existing Iranian fighters and could provide a cost-effective successor to the J-7, F-5 and F-4 with a similarly low operational cost. The fighter's access to modern sensors and PL-12 long-range active radar-guided air-to-air missiles could make it an attractive option. Given that Iran lacks any active radar-guided missile-equipped squadrons, with the exception of its F-14s, the JF-17 would be a welcome addition despite its limitations. The JF-17 Block III is likely to be more attractive, however, and integrates a larger and significantly more powerful ESA radar, superior engines and likely new PL-15 air-to-air missiles among other features. The fighter has yet to enter service, but could likely begin deliveries to Iran before 2025 given the fast delivery schedule of the JF-17 program. Access to the PL-15 in particular could make this an attractive option, allowing Iran to engage potential adversaries beyond their own engagement ranges up to 200 kilometers away. Fourth, J-10C. China began to offer the J-10C 4++ generation single-engine fighter for export from 2019, representing the most sophisticated Chinese combat jet marketed abroad. The fighter has many similar capabilities to the Russian Su-35 and MiG-35, including thrust vectoring engines, infrared sensors, and new generation of air-to-air missiles, in this case the PL-15, rather than the R-37M, and next-generation radars. The fighter is from a lighter weight range than the Russian Su-35 and MiG-35 with a single, rather than a twin-engine configuration, and was developed as a complement to the heavyweight J-16 and J-20 in Chinese service, all of which are equipped with powerful ESA radars. The J-10C could be seen as a direct competitor to the MiG-35, and while lighter and less costly, it does benefit from a stealthier airframe, application of stealth coatings and much more investment in research and development. This means more upgrades will likely be available for the J-10 over its service life relative to the Russian designs. Fifth, Su-57. Russia has offered the Su-57 to potential foreign clients from 2019, when it unveiled the Su-57E at the MAX Airshow, and the aircraft represents the highest-end non-Western combat jet available for export today. A contract for the aircraft is estimated at $2.8 billion for every 24 fighters, far more than the Su-35 at $2 billion, or the Su-30SM for £1.2 billion for the same number. This means an Iranian purchase, if pursued, would likely be restricted to a very small number of aircraft. Despite this, the Su-57 may prove to be the most cost-effective option for Iran. The Su-57 benefits from a high endurance, stealth and access to a range of standoff munitions, including air-launched ballistic missiles, which allow it to project power across the region in an unprecedented way and provide air support. As a defensive interceptor, equipped with a large arsenal of R-37M missiles and a large ESA radar, the fighter would serve as a serious deterrent to possible violations of Iranian airspace.